In the city of Chicago, a poor mechanic named Alex works day and night just to keep his small garage alive. But one midnight, fate brings him face to face with Olivia, a wealthy businesswoman whose luxury car breaks down. What begins as a simple repair soon turns into a powerful story of honesty, kindness, and a secret that could change his life forever. Stay with us and watch this video till the very end. You won't want to miss what happens. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Now let's get started. The night in Chicago was unusually quiet, the kind of silence that almost made the streets feel deserted. The neon sign of Alex's Auto Repairs flickered faintly in the darkness, casting a soft glow on the cracked pavement outside. Inside the shop, Alex was bent over the hood of an old Chevy, his hands greasy and his shirt drenched with sweat. It was nearly midnight, and his body ached from a day that had started before sunrise. But he kept going, driven by the fear that closing early might mean losing one more customer, one more chance to keep his struggling business alive. He had been a mechanic since his teenage years, taught by his late father, who had run the same garage before him. After his father's passing, Alex had taken over, but the shop never made much money. Competition was fierce, bills piled high, and some nights he went home with barely enough cash to buy dinner. Still, he never let himself quit. For Alex, fixing cars wasn't just a way to survive. It was the only thing he truly knew, the only legacy left behind. And so he wiped his hands on a rag, locked his toolbox, and prepared to call it a night. Just as he reached for the light switch, a sharp sound of tires screeching echoed outside. A sleek black luxury car pulled up to the shop, its headlights cutting through the darkness like two piercing eyes. Alex frowned. At this hour, most people avoided this side of town. Before he could say a word, the driver's door opened and a woman stepped out. She looked like she belonged on a magazine cover, tall, elegant, wrapped in a tailored coat that screamed wealth. Yet her face was tense, and her voice trembled ever so slightly as she called out, "Excuse me, are you still open?" Alex hesitated, taking in the sight of her. She was not the kind of customer who usually came to his garage. Most of his clients were truck drivers, taximen, or neighbors with worn-down cars held together by hope. But something about her urgency made him nod. "Yeah, I'm still open. What seems to be the problem?" She gestured to the car, her perfectly manicured hand trembling just a little. "It broke down on the highway. I barely made it here." Her tone was confident, but Alex could hear the frustration beneath it. He walked over to the car, lifted the hood, and peered inside. The engine was immaculate, far different from the beat-up cars he usually worked on, but even the finest machines could falter. He quickly spotted the issue, a failing alternator. He glanced back at her. She stood there, arms crossed, looking out of place against the backdrop of his greasy garage. He noticed how she avoided sitting down on the dusty bench, as though the thought of dirt on her expensive clothes unsettled her. Yet for all her grace, there was a vulnerability in her eyes, like she wasn't used to standing helpless in front of anyone. Alex cleared his throat and said, "I can fix it, but it'll take a little while. You can wait inside." She hesitated, then stepped into the garage, perching awkwardly on the edge of a chair near his desk. The faint smell of motor oil and metal surrounded her, a stark contrast to the faint perfume she wore, something soft and expensive that reminded Alex of flowers he'd never seen in real life. As he worked, he could feel her gaze on him. He was used to people watching, but not like this. She wasn't checking to see if he was doing his job right. She seemed curious, observing not just the way he handled the tools, but the way he carried himself despite the fatigue weighing him down. For Alex, every movement was muscle memory. Loosen a bolt here, adjust a wire there. His father had always told him that fixing cars was like patching up broken lives. You had to be patient, gentle, and steady, even when the problem seemed unsolvable. He worked with the same dedication now, ignoring the ache in his shoulders. The woman said nothing for a while, only watching him with an expression Alex couldn't quite read. Finally, she broke the silence. "You don't know who I am, do you?" she asked softly. Alex blinked, puzzled. "Should I?" She gave a faint smile that didn't reach her eyes. Most people do. He shrugged, wiping sweat from his brow. Doesn't matter who you are. You're just someone who needs their car fixed. For the first time that night, she laughed, quiet, almost surprised at herself. In that moment, Alex noticed the loneliness hiding beneath her polished exterior. Whoever she wasn't used to being treated like a normal person. As the minutes passed, the sound of his tools filled the room, steady and reassuring. For Olivia, though Alex didn't yet know her name, that sound felt safer than the silence of her high-rise penthouse. Here, in this run-down garage, she felt oddly human again. By the time Alex tightened the final bolt, the clock had struck past midnight. He closed the hood and stepped back, wiping his hands on his rag. All done, he said simply. She stood, her heels clicking softly against the concrete floor as she approached the car. For a moment, she just looked at him, as if memorizing the man who had worked so tirelessly without asking questions. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice softer than before. And though Alex didn't know it, this midnight encounter was the beginning of something that would change both of their lives forever. Olivia reached for her purse as Alex stepped back from the car, expecting him to hand her a bill. She pulled out a thick bundle of cash, more than most of his customers ever carried, but when she extended it toward him, Alex shook his head. It was a small job. "Just pay me for the part," he said firmly. His tone was polite, but there was a quiet strength behind it, as if he had made this decision before she even reached for her money. Olivia blinked, startled. She was used to men eager to take advantage of her wealth. "Are you sure?" she asked, her brows knitting in confusion. "This is more than fair." Alex smiled faintly, a tired but genuine expression. "I'm not in this business to cheat people. I fix cars, I charge fair. That's it." He walked to his desk, scribbled a modest figure on a receipt and handed it to her. Olivia stared at the paper. The amount was almost insulting compared to what she was offering. For years, she had been surrounded by people who wanted something from her, business partners, rivals, even so-called friends. Yet this man wanted nothing more than what was fair. As she drove away that night, Olivia couldn't stop thinking about him. She had been in countless boardrooms negotiating million-dollar deals, but she had never encountered a man so simple and so honest. His garage had been worn down, his clothes rough, his hands covered in oil, yet there was something noble in his refusal to take more than he was owed. By the time she reached her penthouse, her mind was spinning with thoughts she couldn't quite name. Why had he treated her differently? Why did it feel so refreshing to be seen as just a person? The next few days were a blur of meetings, contracts, and endless calls. Olivia's schedule never allowed her time to dwell on personal matters, yet Alex kept creeping into her thoughts. She remembered his steady hands, the tired kindness in his voice, the way he never once looked at her with greed. Finally, she made a decision. She had been searching for a meaningful investment outside of her high-profile world, something grounded, something real. Maybe his little garage was exactly that. She found herself sitting in her car again one afternoon, parked outside Alex's Auto Repairs, staring at the humble sign with its peeling paint. When she stepped out, Alex was under the hood of a truck, his sleeves rolled up. He looked surprised to see her, wiping his hands on a rag as he approached. "You again?" he said with a small grin. "Car trouble already?" Olivia shook her head, smiling back faintly. "Not this time. I came to talk." Alex raised a brow, curious but cautious. She didn't waste time. "I want to invest in your shop, expand it. You've got skill and you're honest. You deserve more than this small corner garage." For a moment, Alex just stared at her, as though she had spoken in another language. "You—" "What?" he finally asked, half laughing. "You don't even know me." Olivia met his gaze, her expression steady. "I know enough. You fixed my car without overcharging me. You didn't care who I was. That's rare. I see potential in people, Alex, and I see it in you." He looked down, struggling to find words. No one had ever believed in him like that. Most people dismissed him as just another poor mechanic, someone who'd never make it beyond greasy floors and overdue bills. The idea that this elegant woman, wealthy, powerful, and from a world so different from his, wanted to help him felt surreal. Still, his pride made him hesitate. "I don't take handouts," he said firmly. Olivia shook her head. "This isn't charity. It's business. I'll invest, you'll run the shop, and together we'll make it grow. Think about it." She handed him a sleek card with her name embossed in gold. Alex glanced at it, the weight of the decision settling over him. As she walked back to her car, her heels clicking against the pavement, he felt his world shift in a way he couldn't explain. For the first time in years, he wondered if his life could be bigger than the garage walls. That night, Alex sat at his kitchen table in his small apartment, the card lying in front of him. His father's old photo rested on the shelf nearby, watching over him. Alex thought about all the nights he'd gone without sleep, all the times he nearly lost the shop. Was it really pride to turn down an opportunity that could secure his future? Or was it fear of stepping into a world he didn't belong to? He stared at the card for hours, knowing that accepting Olivia's offer might change his life forever, but also knowing he might never get another chance like this. A week later, Olivia returned, this time not in her luxury car, but in a simpler sedan. She found Alex standing outside the garage waiting for her. He handed her the card back, but his eyes held a new determination. "If we do this," he said, "we do it my way. Fair, honest, and with hard work. I won't let money change that." Olivia smiled, a rare, genuine smile that lit her face. "That's exactly why I chose you." In that moment, both of them realized this partnership wasn't just about business. It was about trust, hope, and a bond neither of them expected.